Do you know what my favorite part of that video is? Your look.
What is that?
Your look as you put the paper down. Just that look of kind of disgust and you guys are idiot kind of look to you.
Yeah, well, and thanks for having me, Grant. And that's kind of my look that I'm giving some individuals today, because there are people who think that the New York Times is a sacred and holy publication, and lo, on the seventh day the Lord created the New York Times, and we are to not taunt the New York Times, nor are we to even discuss it near an open flame for theatrical effect, Grant. But people are angrier at me simply holding a Zippo, buy a copy of the New York Times that I didn't and wouldn't buy. I mean, come on. Buy a copy of the New York Times than they were over leftists actually burning down buildings and burning up cars and punching people in the face at so many of the riots that we saw in previous months and, you know, in the years past. So, I mean, that's what they're upset about. They're more upset over this than they are that. And of course, the New York Times helped fuel that fire. And furthermore, Grant, I want to add one more thing, because some people say, well, Dana, I mean, didn't you do an interview with the New York Times? Didn't you just talk to them? And these are the people who block and run away whenever their opinions or beliefs are challenged by someone else because they lack the strength of conviction in those beliefs, Grant. Whereas I will talk to any media. I've never had a problem with that. Sometimes I chase them down. They're not really fond of that, but I always am open and I always talk to individuals. And I guess that's the difference between me and people like the anti-gun advocates, is that I believe in more, not fewer voices. And I feel strongly in my convictions, and I'll talk about them anytime, anywhere.
Yeah, and that is the difference between them and us. We are not afraid of the truth or afraid of arguments. And we can do it in a manner that's respectful. Look, these folks watched your video, Dana, by the way. Well, no, I take that back. They didn't even watch your video. They commented on it. I saw some comments. How could she burn the paper? They didn't even watch the video. Clearly, you didn't burn the paper. And they don't even watch it.
I mean, it was purposeful. I mean, I could have. It's my right, you know. I mean, people act like it's more sacred than the flag. I could have burned it, and I have every right to, because me burning a copy of the New York Times is also an expression of my free speech rights, Grant, and I can choose to exercise it whenever I want to without having to get permission from the New York Times editorial board or any anti-gun harpies or anything like that. But I didn't purposefully, because I planned for this reaction. I orchestrated this reaction. I knew they wouldn't watch it, and I knew that they would continue with their fake news and claiming that I did something that I clearly didn't do. And so it's just, you know, I mean, it's just, thanks for taking the bait, I guess.